Hey boys and girls, welcome to Shared Reading with Miss Johnson. I hope that you also had a good holiday of no school yesterday, but it is time to get back to it. Today we're going to be listening to a story called Annie Helps Out. Say that with me. Annie Helps Out. Yes, very good. Boys and girls, when I read, and if I'm a good reader, I look for clue words to help put things in order in a story. We know that it's very important when we read a story and when we retell a story that we do it in order so that whoever we're telling it to can understand it, or when we're reading, we can understand it. In this story that I'm about to read, Annie Helps Out, it starts in the morning time, and Al is one of our characters. His first job is to wash the dog. Okay, that part that we're going to read about starts with the word first. So that lets us know that the author is telling me that Al's first step is to wash the dog. And then he's going to do some other things after that, like fill the bucket, and goes to get the dog after he fills the bucket. So we're going to listen as I read to see if you can put things that happen in order. And I want you to try to do that in your brain as I read the story, okay? Here we go. Annie Helps Out. It was Saturday morning. Al and Stephen stared at the list of household chores stuck to the refrigerator door. They had to finish everything before they could go to the movies. Wash the dog, clean the bird cage, weed the garden, Al read aloud. Oh, we'll never make it to the movies, groaned Stephen. I can help, said their sister Annie. You're too little to help, said Al. Little sister just get in the way, said Stephen. You'll see, Annie replied. First, Al filled a bucket with sudsy water. Then he went to get the dog from the backyard. On his way back, he tripped over the bucket and spilled the sudsy water all over. Sudsy water is like soapy water and how it bubbles up. I can help, called Annie. She filled the bucket with sudsy water again. Thanks, Annie, exclaimed Al. Stephen cleaned the bird cage and then filled Tweety's bowl with bird seed. Just as Stephen was finishing, Mr. Whiskers, the family cat, came along. He knocked the bag over and bird seed spilled everywhere. I can help, called Annie. She swept up all the bird seed and put it back into the bag. Thanks, Annie, exclaimed Stephen. Now it was time to weed the garden. Al and Stephen pulled weeds. It was a hot afternoon and the boys were tired. At last, they were done. Annie came outside. I can help, she called. Mom and I made lemonade. Come in and get some. Al and Stephen were thirsty. Thanks, Annie, they exclaimed. We were wrong, Annie, said Al. You're not too little to help. In fact, you were such a big help, said Stephen, that we'll take you to the movies with us. The end. Boys and girls, before we started reading, we talked about how knowing and listening for the order of a story is very important. And that's especially what good readers have to do. In this story, the first thing that happened was what? Do you remember? That's right, Al filled a bucket with sudsy water. And of course he spilled it over, so Annie had to help. And then Stephen had a job. Do you remember what his job was? Good, then Stephen had to clean the bird cage right before Mr. Whiskers came along and knocked it over. But Annie helped again. Now and finally they had to do what? What was their last chore? Do you remember? It has something to do with outside. They had to weed the garden. Weeding the garden. Very good. That was their last step. So boys and girls, if I was going to go to my mom and tell her all about this story that I listened to today with Miss Johnson, I would want to make sure that I tell her just how the story went. That's very important. I hope that you have a great rest of the week, and I will see you back here later on. Bye, friends.